Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another scaring myself shitless Halloween edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and moving right along with my Halloween series, I finally arrived to the one of the most iconic Halloween movies of all time. You all know it. A lot of you out there love it. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Selick and produced and written by Tim Burton from a story he made, not directed by Tim Burton, but directed by Henry Selick. And sorry, that's a huge misnomer that he directed it. But anyway, starring Danny Elfman, Chris Sarandon, Catherine O'Hara, Paul Rubens, Glenn Shaddix, Ken Page, and Greg Proops. I didn't just stream this on Disney Plus. I actually went to the movies to see the 3D remastered 30th anniversary re-release of this in theaters. Um, and I did that because, believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy, but I've never seen this movie in its entirety. For me, The Nightmare Before Christmas has always been that movie that, like, somebody's pretty much playing in the background at their Halloween party, or, someone's playing the songs, or, it's that movie that's always on ABC Family, now known as Freeform. But I have never formally sat down to give all of my time and attention to all. It's not a long movie. How long is this movie? To all 76 minutes of it. And, obviously going paying to see it in 3D in the movie theaters, you get that. You obviously, I had no choice but to be fully immersed and invested in this film. And, having seen it properly for the first time, fully for the in its entirety for the first time, I will say it's okay. It's all right. I know this movie has a religious, devout following, and if we're looking purely from an animation standpoint, like a visual standpoint, I completely get it because this movie is hauntingly beautiful. And though I can't say that, the real D 3D watching it in theaters, like there was never a moment where it like fully just straight up justified re-releasing this in 3D. I can say that there were definitely moments where the 3D enhanced the beautiful stop motion, or is it? It's not stop motion. Claymation. Maybe it is stop motion, but you guys get what I'm saying. The stop motion claymation animation, just the animation, the beautiful animation. There's no to this day might be like a few more obscure, more surreal animated films, but if we're talking about like well-known animated feature-length films, to this day there has been nothing that's fully managed to reach the same level as the look of The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I will go on record by saying that it's one of the most visually stunning animated movies I have ever seen in my entire life. And I cannot discredit the movie in that regard. It's one of the most like unique looking films, period, not just animated, but period, that I've ever seen in my life. I am in love with the look of this film, like a lot of you out there. I love the character designs. I love the design of Halloween. Halloween Town, Christmas Town. It's one of the best looking movies I've ever seen in my life. However, that's the extent of the praise that I can give it. If we're talking about like moving on to like the actual story and characters itself, I just really didn't find it all that engaging or, really particularly interesting. The leader of Halloween Town, Jack the Pumpkin King is fed up with his life. That's a lot of animated movies. They could have done more with that. I just really feel like they didn't. It's kind of like oh, I'm fed up with my life. I go wandering away just to get a break from the mundane. I come across this new thing. Again, that could have been something. And I will say for that first bit where he does discover Christmas Town, I'm like, oh, where are they gonna go with this? What are they gonna do with this? This is really interesting. So is he just gonna like hijack the holiday for himself? Answer is yes. That is what Jack Skellington attempts to do, And I will also say that when he gets like the citizens of Halloween Town who are only used to scaring the shit out of people and frightening them with these ghastly images and their actual monsters, when he tries to get them to create Christmas, like their version of Christmas, I was like, yeah, this is kind of a clever idea. I see where they're going with this because obviously they're not going to get it right, and of course they fuck up the holiday. And I even like that montage where he's trying to play Santa Claus after kidnapping the real one, dropping these fucked up gifts. It was just really entertaining to see like these children being terrorized by these twisted Christmas presents. I like that. I enjoyed that. But outside of that novel idea of there's this guy who he's the king of the monsters, he's the king of Halloween, trying to play Santa Claus because he feels like something's missing in his life. Outside of that, there's really not much there. All the background characters are just that. They're background characters. You don't get to know much about them. There's like a wolf man, witches, vampires, but they're all just there to be like visual gags. Like, hey, look, it's a wolf man. It's vampires. It's witches. There's this kid who even looks like Pugsley from the Addams Family because it's Pugsley from the Addams Family. But other than that, like they're just kind of there to exist. The movie, this is Jack Skellington's movie. The other big character is Sally. I don't know if she had a last name, kind of like the female version of Frankenstein's monster. They're the two leads. It's mainly their movies. The side characters literally just there to be the side characters, like I said, just like in the background. So it's their movie, and I just really didn't find either of them all that interesting or all that relatable. Jack Skellington is the most beloved, admired, and liked guy in the entire town. He's the king of Halloween Town, and I understand why that gets repetitive because, like, according to this movie's mythology, it's all about like wherever the citizens of these holiday related universes towns live. There's portals to them in the forest. That's what they're straight up about, and you can't deviate from that. I can understand why Jack would be like, I want to do something more. What's missing in my life? This must be it, trying to fill that void. It just didn't really make it interesting because while I'm getting into the plot a bit more because I just feel like I have to with this one. While that could have been done better, I think what really tanked it for me was the way that the movie wraps up. And I won't give that away yet because I haven't seen this movie, and I have to assume there are still people out there who haven't seen, don't know how it all ends. So I'll say like that. The way it ends is kind of like what tanks the whole thing for me because it's like, okay, so there was really no point in going through all of this, and the last shot of this movie, the last part of this movie, it's like, okay, I guess this is a thing now. And yeah, like Sally's character, if you know what happens in the end, like Sally's character, again, like it's definitely, she's definitely the second lead and this kind of the supporting character, and it's just another one of those like really those with this world, you're just gonna do this again? Okay, I mean, cool. I mean, it's not shit. It's not like complete crap or really annoying or anything, but it's just that it's just like, if you're gonna tell that familiar story, if you're gonna do that, and it's been done so much to death, make it interesting, make me care about these characters, and I just didn't. I'm sorry. And the villain like felt like like who is the villain? There shouldn't really have been a villain in this movie, but I felt like they had to have like somebody who makes Jack Skellington look more like, just a straight up good guy. So here you go. He felt tacked on like, what's his backstory? Why is he in this kind of like domain to himself? Give me backstory, give me more details, man. You guys created such a beautiful looking, visually stunning world, and I know almost nothing about it, nothing about the side characters, and the central characters that we do follow around for the entire movie were just these kind of like tropish, cliche, one-dimensional characters. So yeah, wrapping it up, I'll make this a short one. Very visually stunning. If it's still playing in theaters in 3D, I recommend going out to see it. The 3D is not, it's not on the same level as like How to Train Your Dragon or what's another good really animated one? I guess What's another great animated movie I remember seeing in 3D? How to Train Your Dragon for sure. I think that might be the only one for me. I'm sure there are others because 3D only really works for truly works for animation, but it's not on that level of as How to Train Your Dragon where it's like holy shit, the 3D does wonders for it. But it's there are moments where like wow, this looks really beautiful. So I go out and see it for the look, and maybe clearly a lot of you out there are more in love with this story and are more charmed by it than I am. I haven't even said anything about the musical numbers yet. Like there's three that are memorable. The rest, okay, cool. It does have a solid soundtrack. Danny Elfman not only worked on, but he also sings some of the songs. I didn't know Danny Elfman could sing like that. Wow. When I looked it up and I saw it was him. I was like, oh, I thought he was just a composer, but no, Danny Elfman also has some pipes. So that was cool, and it does have a really solid soundtrack. Just like overall, I'm not in love with like all of the musical numbers. But there are a handful that are pretty catchy, and the main one, it's Halloween. That song was stuck in my head for a couple of days. So there you have it. So wrapping it up, all in all, I'm going to be giving The Nightmare Before Christmas a 6 out of 10. It gave me the same feeling that watching Avatar: The Way of Water did, where it's like beautiful looking movie, pretty solid justification of 3D as well. But outside of that, none of the story and the characters just aren't doing it for me. So again, 6 out of 10 for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Don't hate me if the rest of you love the shit out of this movie. Seriously, kudos to you. I just don't get anything special out of it. And I tried. I didn't stream it on Disney Plus, though I could have. I went out to see it in 3D in theaters, and just not fully my cup of tea. But the animation is really awesome. But outside of that, it's there's just not much else there for me. So again, 6 out of 10 for Tim Burns' The Nightmare Before Christmas. This has been another edition of Wade Watches, and I will see you all next time. Peace.